Hello children. Hope you have watched all the videos which was uploaded for grade 10 earlier. And what I'm going to teach today in this particular video is about refraction. Okay, this light, which is your first chapter in physics, is broadly divided into two major concepts. That's your reflection and refraction. Okay, what I've uploaded till date is on reflection. So wherein we have learned about laws of reflection, what is reflection, image formation, and things like that. So what I'm going to teach today is about refraction. Is that clear? Okay, so let's start doing it. First, what is refraction? Refraction is nothing but bending of light rays when it travels from one medium to another medium. That is, whenever a light ray travels from one medium to another medium, the bending of light ray takes place. That is called as refraction. In case of reflection, it is bouncing back of light rays, but refraction is nothing but bending of light rays. Let me explain this with this diagram. If you see this diagram, you have two medium here, that is on top it is air and bottom it is water, correct? So now what happens, this red line which is seen, it's a ray which is traveling from air to water, so there's a change in medium. So if you could see that there's a bend in the light ray which is shown by this blue color, correct? So a light ray which is traveling from air to water, when there is a change in the medium, what happens, the ray bends, correct? And bending is, if you can see, it is towards the normal, the dotted line is this normal. Okay, so this is what is refraction. It is nothing but when a light ray travels from one medium to another medium, the bending of light ray takes place, and that phenomenon of bending of light rays while traveling from one medium to another medium is called as refraction. Hope it is clear to you all. Yes, now let me explain this refraction with lot of examples, so that the concept becomes even more clearer. So now if you could see this particular example here, it's a common one which everybody would have noticed once or twice. That is, it is actually a cup, a transparent cup in which you have water filled. There's a pencil kept inside that. Okay, so now when you see this pencil, you see a small bend in the pencil. It doesn't look straight for you all when you view it from outside, but I don't know whether how many of you have noticed it. If you have not done it, please try doing it. It's a very simple experiment, and you observe there's a bend in that pencil. Okay, this phenomena of bending is called as refraction, and this is happening due to the phenomena of refraction. If you can observe this picture carefully, you can notice it very clearly. This is a small shift in the position of the pencil. So this picture can be even more clearly explained using this diagram, wherein you see an yellow pencil. Okay, next to that there's a small image, I mean one more pencil kind thing, which is showing an apparent position of the pencil. That is, when a person views from outside, the real position is that long pencil which you see. Okay, but for you, because there's a phenomenon of refraction happening, the two medium here is your air and water. So then what happens, you see an apparent position of that pencil. So and that is actually not the real position of the pencil, so there's a shift in the position. So this is the second example. Third, this is a glass slab. It's a transparent optical rectangular glass slab. Okay, here when a light passes through, you can see the bending of light very carefully. You have an aquarium. This is a very common example which many of you have noticed, because whenever you see an aquarium, for every fish you see an apparent position of it. Here again, the two medium involved is your air and water, so there's a phenomenon of refraction happening, and you see apparent position of fish. So sometimes if it is a less number of fish which is there in the aquarium, because of these apparent position, you get to see a lot of fishes. Your aquarium looks very full. That's due to the phenomena of refraction. You have your rainbow formation. Rainbow formation is one of the beautiful natural phenomena, and this rainbow formation is also because of refraction. So this rainbow formation you are going to study in detail in the coming chapter, because you have a chapter in which human eye and colorful world. It's the next chapter immediately after this. So there you're studying about various natural phenomena which occurs due to the phenomena like reflection, refraction, dispersion, and things like that. So in that you study detail about this rainbow formation. But for time being, understand this rainbow formation is due due to phenomena called refraction. Okay. And one more example, I don't know how many would have tried doing it. If you take a transparent bucket, try to put a coin inside that. Okay, and then what you do is, from the side, try to put your hand, and take out the coin from water. Sometimes when you put your hand, you don't directly get the coin into the hand, because according to your view, the position of the coin is somewhere. So when you try to put at that particular point, sometimes the coin is little away from that position, because you're putting your hand towards the apparent position of the coin, which is not the actual position, and you sometimes fail to get that coin in hand. Okay, this is all a few examples of refraction. This concept will be even clearer as we go ahead with the chapter. Hopefully this examples is clear to you. So refraction is phenomena of bending of light rays when it travels from one medium to another, and examples are like rainbow formation, your aquarium, okay, a pencil which is kept in glass of water. All these are the few examples wherein you see the phenomena of refraction. Is that clear? Okay, now we'll study the laws of refraction. So laws of refraction is nothing but it is same like a reflection. As a reflection has got two sets of laws, same way you have two laws here also in case of refraction. So what are that? First one is the incident ray, the refracted ray, and the normal to the interface of two media at the point of incidence all lie in the same plane. This is same as the laws of reflection, that is, the incident ray, the refracted ray, and the normal all lies on the same plane. Okay, the second law states that for the light of a given color and for a given pair of medium, the ratio of the sine of angle of incidence to the sine of angle of refraction is constant. Okay, so this is given by an equation, sine I by sine R is equal to a constant. So let me explain this law clearly with this picture. If you see this picture, you have two medium involved in it. You have the white color is one medium, the light blue which is shown in the bottom is the second medium. Now an incident ray which is shown in dark blue color actually moves from one medium to another medium. So when it is moving, there is a bent of light ray. Okay, and that dotted line which is seen is the normal to that plane. Correct? So an angle made by the refracted ray with the normal is angle of refraction, and the angle made by the incident ray with the normal is called angle of incidence. So according to this law, sine I, that is the angle of sine of angle of incidence by sine of angle of refraction is a constant. Okay, and this holds good only for a pair of medium, that is, and it's not only pair of medium, a particular color also. For example, if the two medium which I choose here is air and water, and the light, for example, I choose it as red color, uh, from this three, if I change any one, that is, if I change any one of the medium or I change the color of the light, then the constant value also changes. Okay, so this holds good only for a set of medium and also for a particular color of light. And why am I talking about color of light here? Because light with the color, there's a change in wavelength, so that also has an influence on this bending. Is that clear? So this is applicable only for that. Any change in any of this, the constant also changes, the value of constant also changes. Now read this law carefully, you will understand it better. For the light of a given color and for given pair of medium, the ratio of the sine of angle of incidence to the sine of angle of refraction is a constant, and this is also called as a Snell's law. The other name given to this law is Snell's law. Next, refractive index. I said sin I by sin R is a constant, and that constant is called as a refractive index. Okay, how do I define refractive index? It is the measure of bending of light ray when passing from one medium to another medium. That is, I told whenever there is a change in the medium, when the light ray travels from one medium to another medium, there is bending of rays happening. Now, to what extent is that bending happening? Is it bending more? Is it bending less comparatively? So that extent of bending is given by the refractive index. Is that clear? So it is the measure of bending of light ray when passing from one medium to another medium. Okay, the formula, the normal letter which we use for writing refractive index is n. It is given by c by v. So wherein c is the speed of light in air and v is speed of light in medium. If I'm talking about the refractive index of kerosene, for example, this formula would be speed of light in air, okay, by speed of light in kerosene, because the light travels with different speed in different medium. So speed of light in air by speed of light in the kerosene gives the refractive index of kerosene. Okay, then if I write something called as N21, what does it mean? It is the refractive index of medium 2 with respect to medium 1. That is the first number which comes in, I'm talking about the refractive index of that medium with respect to the second number. So N21 denotes the refractive index of medium 2 with respect to medium 1. The formula for that is V1 by V2, which is speed of light in medium 1 by speed of light in medium 2. Is that clear? So here what happens, it can be any two medium. Okay, so if it is for the second medium with respect to medium 1, the speed of light in medium 1, whichever I am taking, by speed of light in medium 2. N12 is just opposite to that, wherein the refractive index of medium 1 with respect to medium 2. It is given by V2 by V1, which is speed of light in medium 2 by speed of light in medium 1. Okay, now when I say N2 is greater than N1, what do I understand? It means that medium 2 has got a high refractive index compared to medium 1. It can also be told like this: the one which has got high refractive index is also called as optically denser medium. The one with low refractive index is called as an optically rarer medium. Is that clear? Okay, now here if you look at this table, this gives the refractive index of some common materials which are seen around. Here left side you have different materials and right side the value of refractive index. If you observe this table very carefully, the last one, diamond, the refractive index is 2.42, and if you compare it with air, it is 1.0003. so here diamond is optically denser than air, which is optically a rarer medium. So here if you check out the previous year's papers, there are a lot of questions based on this, especially the 1 mark question, wherein they take out 4 materials from this. They ask you which according to you has got a high refractive index. So you should always know what would be the order of this material. Let's have a look like which material comes after which, so that you can compare the refractive index. Sometimes the value may not be very important, but still what is shown in green, those value you have to by heart. Apart from that, at least have a rough idea of what material comes each after each, so that when there's 2 material picked up from this table and they ask you to compare the refractive index or the optical density, you should be able to do it. That is normally seen in 1 mark questions in all the question papers. Okay, now this is bending of light rays. So now I said bending of light rays happens. To what extent is it bending is given by refractive index. So what happens if the bending of light rays happens between two rarer and a denser medium? Here if you see the first picture, here the light ray is moving from a denser to a rarer medium. The picture clearly shows that. So whenever a light ray moves from a denser to rarer medium, the light ray moves away from the normal. The dotted line is a normal. If you can see this, the green light ray, it moves away from the normal. So this happens when the light travels from a denser to a rarer medium. In this case, the angle of refraction will be more compared to the angle of incidence. Look at the picture very carefully, you will understand it. So compare that with the second, wherein the light is traveling from a rarer to a denser medium. Here what happens, the light ray is moving from rarer to a denser medium. If it is moving like that, the light ray bends towards the normal, and in that case the angle of refraction would be less than angle of incidence. So this is a very important concept. So understand, whenever a light ray travels from a denser to a rarer medium, the light ray bends away from the normal, and whenever the light ray moves from a rarer to a denser medium, the light ray bends towards the normal. This is a very important concept which is used as an application level, for other things. So understand this concept very well. Okay, now based on this, we are going to understand the refraction through a rectangular glass slab. Glass slab is nothing but it's a transparent optical material. This is available in our lab. So when we get a chance to meet, we'll go to the lab. I'll show you what exactly this rectangular glass slab is, and this is there for our practical also. So we will do it definitely. So here, applying all these concepts, we are going to say how does the refraction happen in a rectangular glass slab. If you look at this picture, this is a PQRS is a rectangular glass slab. AB is an incident ray which is moving from air to glass, that is from a rarer to a denser medium. Air is rarer compared to glass, correct? So it is moving like that. So whenever this happens, when a light ray moves from a rarer to a denser medium, the light ray bends towards the normal, forming a angle of refraction. So did you see that? And that ray is called as the refracted ray. After that, this refracted ray comes out of that glass slab to air. Now here the movement of ray is from a denser to a rarer medium, right? So when it moves from a denser to rarer medium, the light ray bends away from the normal. Can you see in the second this thing? Okay, now the ray which comes out finally is called as an emergent ray. So incident ray, then the refracted ray, and then the emergent ray. Is that clear? Now imagine there is no medium, a second medium involved at all. You don't have a glass. You are only talking about air as one medium. What happens? There is no refraction happening. If that is not happening, the AB incident ray will be straight, which is shown in the dotted line. Correct? Because there is an involvement of a second medium like glass here, there is bending of light ray happening, and finally an emergent ray comes out, which is not the incident ray. Is that clear? And this emergent ray is responsible to create an apparent position of an object. So if you can relate this to the examples that I've shared, you can understand. So emergent rays coming out at a little distance away as that of an incident ray, and that creates an apparent position which is not the actual position of the object. Correct? So now the distance between that incident ray and this emergent ray is called as the lateral displacement or lateral shift. Okay, and this lateral shift is responsible for creating an apparent position for an image, for an object. That's the reason the examples what I've shared, for every image, if there's a medium involved, you see a a different position of the image of the object. Is that clear? This will be even more clear when you do it practically. We are definitely going to do its practical part, right? So then you will understand it better. Okay, so that is what I wanted to share now, the main four concepts. So what I want all of you to do is go through this video, understand it. Immediately after doing it, make an attempt to read your textbook. So that's a very compulsory thing. After I upload videos, I want all of you to read textbook once or twice, so that the concept becomes very clear to you. Is that clear? So next video will be based on the lenses. Okay, what, like mirror, we are going to study about lenses and the image formation and things like that. Okay, so I'm going to stop at this for now. Until I communicate to you with my next video, I want all of you to take care of yourself, right? And then bye.